On a previous video, I showed how I set the beat on a torsion clock, but then I realised that it didn't show the top of the clock on the video. So this is just an update, so you can see exactly what goes on with setting the beat. Now, this piece here, that is called the suspension bracket, and that piece there that the spring hangs on is called the suspension saddle. Now, there's various different sorts. There's this sort which has a screw at the top. You loosen the screw and turn that, but there is other sorts as well, like this one here. You see there's no screw, it's a friction fit, and they're a little bit of a pain to do because obviously being a friction fit, you need to have something tight around there to be able to move it. Now, Horlover do a tool for doing this, but I find it next to useless. I did buy one a few years ago and it got consigned to eBay because it was rubbish, because when you tighten it up it just twisted, didn't do anything at all. So what I've done is modify a pair of pliers, just an old pair of pliers, but that needs to be really smooth in there where you've when you modify it. I do use a piece of thin rubber around the saddle, but I find it a lot easier to pinch up and I can move it quite easily with that. But with the ones with a screw on, you have to be very careful because a minute amount of movement here makes a lot of difference down here or in there. And so you just, what I do is just loosen it off so it's pinched but not tight, so I can still turn it easily either way. Now, if when you're setting the beat you turn it by hand till you hear a click or you see a tooth drop and then you stop and let it go. So just for argument's sake, say if we turned it clockwise, we hear the tick, which is the tooth dropping, or you watch the tooth drop, let it go and it runs back anti-clockwise, you hear a tick and it keeps going, then you know it needs to be altered the other way. So just you turn that away from the way it's just turned, and vice versa the other way around. If it doesn't tick, if the pendulum stops before you get the tick, then you know you're too far that way, so you need to turn the saddle the other way. There's various different sorts. There's a midget clock here, just the same, it's got a little screw on the end, but some of them do have a friction fit on the midget clocks as well. But there's also things like this JUF clock. It's got a totally different setup on it. On the other side, let me see if I can turn it over. Oh. On the other side there's a screw. Hang on, let me get it in picture. On the other side there's a screw. And you just slacken that off to turn this. But again, you don't want it loose. You want it slack enough so you can just turn it. Because if it's loose, when the pendulum goes round, that will move with it. So you want it pinched up slightly, just so it grips very slightly. These are easier in the fact that once you got it set, you can tighten it up without touching that. But on these, when you tighten that up afterwards, that'll turn, which again will put it out of beat. Hope that's helpful. Thank you very much.